this in order to collaborate with the presbyteries on church planting and mission work, develop and digitalized church database for missioners, develop an annual training for missioners targeting 10% representation from presbyteries, equip all the PCA members for personal, corporate, and marketplace evangelism, develop and strengthen holistic care programs in education, in water, in food security, and sustainable agriculture. We also, through the Nenden Outreach Program, hope to continue building churches to get people from under a tree to under a roof. The purpose of the above activities is to equip and inspire the whole church for service. The Nenden Board budget comes from the presbyteries, and as a challenge, we are short of resources which are much needed to do mission work. So as a department, we need to impact the communities. There are enormous opportunities to impact the society in the name of Christ through necessary resources. We are grateful and thankful to the presbyteries who continue supporting, and also, even though there are so much areas in many of the presbyteries, we try to manage the little resources that we get to do holistic mission work. Thank you.
Henry Gachero. My name is Henry Gachero Kaira. Jesus Christ is Lord. I'm privileged to share on the PCMF department and also moving forward in the year 2024. The Presbyterian Church Men Fellowship, initiated in 1973, brings men together as a united Christian force for three key purposes. One, formation in the Christian faith, discipling through becoming witnesses to Jesus Christ, and three, service for the glory of God, right from the family, through the church and to the community. We are glad that we have celebrated 50 years since inception, and now we have a greater opportunity to move beyond 50 years. And so, guided by the theme from Joshua, chapter number 13, verse 1, when Joshua was an old man, the Lord said to him, "You are growing old, and much land remains to be conquered." Basically, we are challenging ourselves as the Men Fellowship not to stop at average, not to stop at past achievements. Number one, we thank God for the high recruitment through admission, dedication, and commissioning of men in parishes. Men have been involved in the core programs of men and environment, planting of trees and growing of trees, men and health, where we advocate for preventive and also curative health. And greatly, our main focus now, moving beyond 50, is mentorship. And as a strategic objective in mentorship, we have focused on growing the boy child together with the girl child, challenging ourselves on having the men ministry embrace more of the youths through the YPCMF, and also checking the seniors, our aging fathers, so that we can have issues related to older men. And To sum it up, some of our great achievements in mentorship through the year 2023, we managed to come up with the rite of passage manual for the boys, which helps the stakeholders. We also went further to develop another mentorship manual in partnership with the Women's Guild and other departments on the mentorship through rite of passage program for Champions Guide. And as PCMF per se, we have embraced now what we are calling the Transform Men Series program, where we train online. And we had the first breakthrough when we trained over 129 who graduated in the YPCMF Summit. And this year, 2024, moving forward, we hope to have our leaders conference here in Nairobi, in PCA St. Andrews, from 22nd to 24th, where we also hope to acknowledge the milestones and finally graduate another second cohort, which will give us leeway now to take the program through the regions for parishes to undertake. We want to encourage all our parishes through the presbyteries to take up the resources, the resource materials, and take them further. And as we have faced one simple challenge of some parishes not getting updated on where are we in matters PCMF and they lag behind, some parishes are also doing very well. And so this year we would rally behind all men who have been elected in parishes not to lag behind, so that they will be up to date on the PCMF matters. As God is speaking to us, still there is more land to conquer. A lot in addictions, partnering with the Department of Drugs, HIV and AIDS, a lot with family, a lot with education, and a lot we need to do with even the TE program. We salute the Transformed Men Series program initiated in Kahawa Shukari and now becoming a whole flagship for the entire men ministry in the PCA. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome at the Pension Department of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. Have you ever wondered how we care, or the Presbyterian Church of East Africa cares for its staff? Presbyterian Church of East Africa, after seeing so many things that have gone and the many staff that we are having, has all instituted since 1985 a pension scheme. This is a staff or PCEA staff retirement scheme. It is a scheme that has run, and it is a contributory scheme. The employer, that is the PCA church, contributes 15%. The employee, that is any church worker, contributes 10%, which is aggregated together. And this amount that is aggregated together is invested by the fund managers. We've been having several fund managers, but currently our fund manager is Britam, one of the very stable industry player in the area of pension. And currently we have continued to do so many other things to help our pensioners, that the retirement of our employee will be good, will be well, and will be having ample income during their retirement. And so currently the retirement plan that we have together with our fund administrator has delivered a good and handsome gain, because the fund continues to grow at between 8% and 10%. Currently, the total fund value stands at 1.8 billion, and These have been accumulated. Currently, we have 1,400 people who are contributing to it so that they can be able to retire in a better and a better way. The pension scheme is controlled or is taken care by trustees. We have 9 trustees, 5 of which are elected by the members, and 4 who are appointed by the trustee, that is the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. We have continued to look at the finances and how everything have been running through our full-time staff who is in this pension office to care, to bring together every coin that is there and to make sure that it is invested, and at the end of the day we can have our employees retiring with something handsome at the end of the day. During the course of time, there are a number of changes that have come, some from the government and some from the business committee. From the business committee, it has realized, and it has been passed and resolved, that the ministers have moved from the retirement age of 60 to 65. The lay still remain at 60. The impact of this is that at retirement, the ministers, whatever they had at age 60, will almost double at the time that they are retiring at 65. This enhances the replacement income from 40% to something to do around 60 to 65%, which is more handsome and good as we go by. And also for our staff, we have continued to enhance. The business committee have made a resolution also that all the staff employed by the Presbyterian Church of East Africa convert from contractual employees to pensionable employees. This will safeguard their future. It is one of the biggest steps that the business committee has taken to continue making that our employee, even after retirement, they are well taken care of. We pray that everybody embraces this because it's for the good of every one of us and for the good of today and in posterity. We continue to look for many fund managers. But from the government, there are quite a number of changes that have come. We have had the NSSF Act, the 2013, that has been reviewed and taken effect last year, that is year 2022 in February. It have had an impact that NSSF itself no longer has acts as a provident fund. Provident fund is where everybody, when they retire, they are given the whole of their money. It was converted by the NSSF Act 2013 to become a pension fund. This means that any retiring person after 2022 will be given annuity. Annuity is the money that is given on monthly basis until the end of the life of that person, or depending with the contractual agreement that is there between the insurer and the person, or the person giving the annuity itself and the person himself. This has impacted, and that is why every worker in Kenya today becomes pensionable, however the terms of employment are. And this is what we are pursuing. And the business committee had acted prior to the law coming into the effect. In the year that is coming, we are looking forward to continue enhancing and encouraging the head office staff, the staff in our presbyteries, in our parishes, to be brought on board so that we can have a peace of mind when we come to retire. So at the pension office, we have that full-time staff. You can call, you can contact us on a regular basis because we are in office. Kindly, dear person, maybe you are there, you are the finance, you are the treasurer of the presbytery. For the well-being of our staff, let the pension be a priority when it is being submitted. One day, it will be great assistance to our people. We continue to make everything better, to engage the administrator, that the returns that we get will be better and better each and every day. May it please God that he will help us to achieve a replacement income, because we would like to have a replacement income of above 75%. That means if an employee, for instance, was earning 100,000 when they were actively employed, they can get a pension of 75,000. This will be good and it will take care of everything. So we are praying that everybody who has not been brought on contract be there, so that we can be able to guide and to invest the monies in the right way, that it can give a better return in future. Thank you as you support us, as we support our employees at the pension office. Thank you and God bless you.
Greetings in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. This is the Reverend John Gatu, the Director of TEE Department. TEE Department is a department of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, whose mandate is to build the capacity of our members in terms of spiritual growth, in terms of discipleship, and also building the capacity of leadership, so that our members in the spirit of priesthood of all believers may be equipped to be able to participate in the life and the leadership of the church. TEE Department does that through the various programs, and of course it started with the basic TEE diploma, which is the initial signature program, and it has several programs. We have courses, we have the Old Testament, we have the book of Jeremiah, and we have all these other books. There are 10 in number, and this is the basic course in the theological education by extension. Those who want to advance from the TEE basic diploma, they go to advanced diploma, which is certified at the Presbyterian University of East Africa. Because of need and the societal issues that have been there, we have also started other programs which include the holistic nurturing of children, which is basically for people who have interest with children. We have books like this. This is the parenting patterns, which tells the parents about how to parent. We have child psychology, because we know children also go through issues of psychological torture and mental health issues, and we want to know how to handle these issues. We also have a book called the Child Evangelism and Discipleship, which helps our children to know Christ and to grow in faith. So these are 8 total, as helping us to understand our children and how to nurture them. Very, very ideal for all the parents and all the young parents and the teachers and anybody with the interest of children. The TEE course that I mentioned earlier is for all members of the church and any Christian who want to grow in faith. Also, we realize that our children, especially at the age of 11, puberty, when they are coming to adolescent, that's when they get lost, because they listen to many stories out there about the changes happening in their lives, because they are changing. Boys are getting beards, girls are becoming bigger in their breasts and so on, and they are wondering what is happening to us, and we want to help them grow together, and we want to mentor them. That's why we have the Crossing Mentorship course that is organized in 5 units. We call them the stepping stone. We have the stepping stone 1, which assesses the identity issues. We also have the stepping stone 2 that helps them to adjust well as they go to school. We have stepping stone 3 that talks about their faith, and of course we have stepping stone 4 and 5 assessing issues of how they can develop themselves and also make an impact in the world. For those who are mentoring them, we have the teacher's guide or the mentorship guidebook for all those who are helping them through the the stepping stone series. So the crossing mentorship series is, as I said, for 11 to 14 years for all our children. Let's allow them to work with us, because we want to mentor them, not just have the instances when we meet with them, but to grow in a process with them. TEE Department also brings us together to study the issues of counseling and psychological counseling and guidance, because we understand that the issues of mental health in society are very, very serious, and many people are suffering from mental health issues. Many of you who watch this clip will also know that you also go through issues of forgetfulness. Sometimes you are holding keys and you are looking for them. That shows you are stressed and so on. So, plans of the nation. We also have the second volume, Reflection of Christian Music, Reflection on Christian Music. That is critical in our church growth. So we have that series of Bible study, and all members who want to study individually or in small groups at the family, district, or any other place, please talk to us and we are going to supply those materials because they are ready. We continue developing them, and if you want to have issues addressed and Bible study material developed in an issue or a topic or a theme you are interested in, please get in touch with the TEE department. We also do the workshops across the regions, that we are going to be circulating the series of workshops in all our regions, including Pwani, which is now 3 presbyteries. Also, we bring together, especially the coordinators, the alumni, to what we call the annual theological conference, a time to reflect on the theological issues affecting the church and the Christian community. So we shall be releasing that schedule, and we want to encourage all the members of the church and every person interested in growth of their faith, in terms of spiritual growth, the leadership development, and also you want to adjust well in society. Please let us organize ourselves at the parish level, at the congregational level, at the Fred. You can also, Freds can come together and study TEE. We also want to announce very happily that we also have online TEE. You can do TEE without getting into class physically. We have the program running. We have students in Kenya and all over the globe doing the TEE online. Also, holistic nurturing of children, you can do it online. You can do guidance and psychological counseling diploma, which is satisfied by the university, Presbyterian University. It's an academic program, the guidance and psychological counseling. You can also do it online. Once again, we want to thank all the congregations, all the members, all the individuals who have continued to grow their faith through the programs of TEE, and we continue being there for the church. We are open to your suggestions on how to improve this department. Thank you, and God bless you.
I greet you all in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm Lucy Wambui Waweru, glad to have this opportunity to introduce Christian education to you, to tell you what we did last year and what we plan to do this year. We are inspired by the words in Hosea 4:6. And when you read that verse, you realize that the key word is about knowledge and the transmission of the same. Therefore, Christian education is about discipleship, that is equipping the learner to become like Christ. In the last charge in the Great Commission, teaching is the chief missionary task of the church. God's people are to be taught to obey. Christian education also helps people to manage transitions properly, covering the span from womb to the tomb, so that in every stage and phase of life, God's people transition well, and that each of them is able to exploit their full potential for the glory of God. We can also define Christian education as a transformational agent that covers the home, the church, the school or institution, and the society in general, that is the marketplace. This we call the hotspots of learning, formation, and outreach. And in all these spaces, you find that the general role of Christian education is to advise, facilitate, sensitize, intervene, educate, and represent. In other words, CE, or Christian education, can be seen as the quality assurance for the church in terms of the application of biblical principles and the processes. As such, Christian education works with all the groups and departments of the church. So what did we do last year? Last year, we were engaged in training, and among many activities, we trained people through seminars, workshops, conferences, and we visited different groups in different places. We also continued with the Revive and Restore mission tour of schools that continued to make connections and impact in our schools. We also engaged in sports, sports ministry. One of the ways we did that is through Tour de CAC, where we organize an annual race that moves from St. Andrews to the Church of the Torch, and that is open to the general public. And we know that through sports, we're able to pass godly values and to evangelize. The Sermon Notebook with lectionary also helps, to continue enhancing our preaching and understanding of the General Assembly theme. In writing manuals. We've also continued to build partnerships and engage with like-minded organizations for mutual benefits. So what are the upcoming events in the year 2024? We'll continue doing more training and capacity building. We also intend to bring together deputy principals in our schools as well as head teachers in our primary schools. But I want you to listen to this. The highlight for this year's Christian Education Week is a celebration of PCA education at 133. Some facts. This year, PCA turns 133 years. And did you also know that PCA grew through ministers, evangelists, and elders who moved from place to place using bicycles, and the church grew to what we have today. And so, from the 22nd of February to 3rd of March this year, we are planning to retrace the journey, retell the story, and rekindle the fire. We will join a group of 13 cyclists. Yeah, they have to be 13 because it's 133. We shall also be accompanied by a mission team to do outreach in the schools and in the communities where we have our original mission centers. And so this group, this large group, will move from Chogoria to Tumutumu to Kikuyu, then to St. Andrews. That is a Scottish route. Then the team will move along the GMS route, that is Kamboi, Ngenda, Kihumbwini, and then back to St. Andrews. You may wonder, why St. Andrews? Because in 1956, the PCA held the first General Assembly in St. Andrews. Then from St. Andrews, the team will be flagged off to continue for the final lap to Kibwezi via PCA Machakos. How can you participate in this? You can pray for this mission. Secondly, you can join the convoy or wait for the convoy along the roads and cheer them on. You can also sponsor a kilometer of the 620-kilometer journey at 133.
The Readers' Conference with a difference, and that is why they took time to prepare for that. It is not lost, so we will be able to engage in that wall. And I'm talking about the wall for the clerks. That is the wall I'm talking about. So they will be there. Now we have the 4 teams, or 4-3. We have the moderators report. We have the clerks. We have the treasurers report. Treasurers were together with the chairs of finance chairs, and therefore I want us to take the shortest time, and then after we report, we as the office will be able to look into whatever you are going to report, and then we get away forward. So every team will have 5 minutes. So summarize whatever you have summarized. So we want a summary of the summary. So 5 minutes will be enough for us to report. And we will start with those who normally come last. So there are clerks. There are those who call the treasurers. We are going to start with the treasurers. Then we go to the clerks. And finally, we're going to finish with moderators. So watu wa mahesambu, where are they? The Karani, akuja report, allow us not to follow the very long protocol that I am the chairman. I am introducing my secretary to come and do this. We go straight to the person who is reporting and who is having the summary. So treasurers, okay, you coming? Okay, then after that, I don't need to stand again immediately after that, but I will only stand if you take more than 5 minutes. So after that, you'll be followed by the clerks, and then hao wengine wakubwa waweze kufuata. Asante sana. Karibu.
Thank you, SG. The SG and all protocol observed. On behalf of the finance chairs and the treasurers. The one who is going to present their report. My name is John Boro from Komodai Presbytery. The areas that we highlighted as follows. The first one was that we need to have a program or activity-based budget. The way it was elaborated very well by the finance officer, by the treasurer, sorry. And then we have a supplementary budget because the need always comes that we should have a working program activity-based budget and also a supplementary budget, and we ensure that those budgets, when we come up with them, they are followed to the letter and avoid variations that are huge. The second one is introduction of the procurement plan that is informed by the budget, and we should strictly follow the procurement plan that are set, both for the recurring expenditures and the capex, the fixed asset, having the necessary approvals and ensuring that no stage is skipped before the procurement is done. The third one is the strategic plan, and not only having that, but ensuring that that strategic plan is effected so that it is the one that is going to guide us on the expenditure of the church. The fourth one, ensure we have a working internal audit department. We are glad that we have one. Let it come also to the lower courts, and so that we may feel it, and the entire church can benefit from the internal audit department. The fifth is procuring and implementing an ERP accounting system. It will help us, all of us, from the top to the bottom, even in our churches. And ERP is, at times, we can partner from the presbytery level and have one, because majority of them, you can have different churches operating in one ERP that will guide us and also assist us in minimizing the cost of maintenance and procuring. Sixth, the sixth one is avoiding the conflict of interest. Here, what we had in mind is we have a church code of ethic that when I'm an elder in charge or a leader in charge, I don't tender for the projects that the church is having. In this, that conflict will be avoided, because if I'm the one who is tendering, I'm the one who is making the decision, definitely I'll be tempted to bias my tender, my supply, and that's where now also we can lose fund as a church. So let us try to avoid as much as we can in the government, because our questions, we had two questions that we are comparing with the system from the government and how we can help this church in the 21st century. That code of ethic should be insisted on in all levels so that we avoid that conflict of interest. Ensuring, the seventh one was we ensure that we have effective finance structure. Having policy, we all have policy document, but are we following those policy documents? Are we implementing them? Then, is there a way that we can be able to harmonize? Because there are people, there are presbyteries that have good policy document. Can we be able to borrow from them so that it can be uniform? Even if it's not, our finances might be different, but the principle, the concept that is on those policy documents can be uniform for the entire church. The church finance structure should involve all the stakeholders, especially when it comes to matter finance. Let the finance committee be engaged in planning. The ninth one is to ensuring that we have an effective debt management system or policy, ensuring that when we are borrowing, we are able to sustain the debts. We will not come back to the church and ask for equity to cover our debt. So it is very important for us to have a working debt management policy that we know for sure that we can be able to sustain the debt that we are going to borrow and that it's not going to affect our day-to-day running of church. The last one of the items is taxation. Taxation, this is, we realize that this is a bomb that is waiting to explode. We should be very careful as a church because the Act states very well that all income from the employees should go through the system, should go through the pay-as-you-earn, should be taxed. So it's important for us to ensure that we follow this so that we avoid the conflict between the church and the KRA body. In the questions that we were given, we were told to compare what the government is doing and what the church is doing. And to summarize, the Finance Act 2015, Public Procurement and Disposal Act, budget approvals are done very well and they are done in advance. The government has a good format on the budget, but poor implementation. And when we looked at what the government is doing, we realized that the church, it might be hard for us as a church to go through the way because what the government is focusing about is more of corruption, but wastages is a lot. So it's also important, as we borrow the strength, we also be aware of the weakness. Thank you. One request as I sit down, SG, thank you. There is a report that was given last year by the Finance Committee, and they kindly requested me that it should be also implemented so that we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Kindly give those points to our rapporteurs there so that the same report again will be pushed to the wall of the clerks and also for the treasurers. Good. Makalani, who is reporting? Seems like they have gone home. Okay. Haya, this must be Reverend Modoi. So after that, 5 minutes only. Once I start, kindly you stop. And the same case, you forward the report to the Karanis. And then after you,